Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister, Minister for Finance, Federal Government, Abdurrahman Bailey, for your welcome. Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. First and foremost, I would like to thank and acknowledge the presence and the leadership of federal government in organizing this meeting in response to the ravaging drought in Jubaland state of Somalia. I would also like to take this golden opportunity to thank the international community and humanitarian family for their tireless and continued support towards the protracted humanitarian crisis in our country and in particular Jubaland state. The drought has affected all the region of Jubaland state of Somalia, Lower Juba, Middle Juba, and Gedo region, and has had diverse consequences on social, economic, livestock, and environmental well-being of the people. Indeed, long period of water shortage can have high socio-economic impact, including crop failure, high food prices, weakened animal body condition, increased level of malnutrition. This drought has also overstretched the government budget and capacity as we struggle to support the affected areas for both humans and animals. In this ecological drought affected the domestic animals like cattle, goats, sheep, and camel, and now is crossing to the people. It has been estimated that pastoralists lost 700,000 livestock and 1.5 million are at risk if no intervention are undertaken. 70% of cattle are likely to die in 1 month if no rains are received. We are receiving reports of 10 cases of suicide in Jubaland due to frustration emanating from livestock. Also receiving reports of death of people due to lack of water in some areas of Jubaland, in particular the district and the Lower Juba and Gedo region. In addition to the ravaging drought, there are reported cases of diseases that decapacitated the livestock. In addition to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, significant number of pastoralists travel all the way from northeastern Kenya with their livestock to compete with already strained meager resources. Since the Middle Juba is not accessible to humanitarian service, the pastoralists from this region migrated to Gedo and Lower Juba region. This worsened the delicate and the fragile environment. Government and partners' ongoing efforts and responses. Some humanitarian partners are doing water tracking and cash transfers in some districts, but this is not enough or sufficient to the needs of the people. Office of the Prime Minister formed a ministerial committee in support of drought response in Jubaland state and already visited Jubaland and bring some medicine supplies and also some cash to support the drought response, and met His Excellency the President of Jubaland State of Somalia and relevant ministries to get update on the current drought situation. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management created a Disaster Preparedness and Response Committee, which is state level. This is community-based committee comprising of youth, women, religious leaders, elders, diaspora, civil society representative, and government officials. It has terms of reference in line with the policy and guidelines of the ministry. They are doing great work in mobilizing business people, diaspora, private sector, humanitarian partners in response to the devastating drought, and some interventions have been done already. In our efforts of improving private sector engagement in response to disasters, Hormuz Foundation pledged to contribute $100,000 in Gedo and Lower Juba regions for the drought response, and currently doing water tracking in some parts of Jubaland. The situation is deteriorating by the day, and therefore there is for need urgent intervention from the stakeholders. The most affected districts in Jubaland are Badade, Afmedo, Ceelwaaq, Beled Xaawo, Luuq, Doolow, Garbaharey, Baardheere, and east of Kismaayo district villages. Recommendation for the short plans. We must all carry out emergency water tracking to affected urban and rural areas to save the lives of the vulnerable people. Number 2, emergency food assistance and livelihood interventions, including distribution of food vouchers, cash transfers, and strengthening market mechanisms. 3, health and nutrition. Emergency medical supplies is required, supporting the existing health systems, scaling up community mobilization activities to provide early detection and referral to the acutely malnourished. 4, community risk assessment and mapping in the drought-affected areas so that we know the real impact of the drought. Long-term strategic plan. Long-term strategic plans. Drought and floods are the biggest disasters in Jubaland region and Somalia in general, and they have been recurring for many years, reversing the gains made in development. IT is therefore imperative that a long-term and sustainable solutions are found. This can only be done through collaboration by both the government and non-state actors. In this regard, we propose the following long-term interventions. 1, construction of mega dams in key strategic areas of Jubaland. 2, establishing water harvesting and storage facilities. 3, construction of gabions along river banks and laggers to prevent overflooding during the rainy season. 4, support drought mitigation coordination mechanism and structures to be able to effectively deal with these issues. 5, early warning system, strengthening for early detection, planning, and execution of mitigation measures. 6, crowdfunding mechanism that brings together the government, private sector, and the diaspora for enhanced engagement and participation. Finally, on behalf of Jubaland government, I would like to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude to the international community and our partners for the continuous support are extending to our vulnerable people at this critical juncture of our history. I thank you.